Hey you guys, it's Barbara Collins, Madre Minutes, and this is day 10, and I wanted to share with you a couple of things. One, I realized that I haven't really been telling you all, I've been telling you all some of what it's like to go through radiation, but hopefully tomorrow I am going to be able to film my entire start to finish treatment so that you can see what it looks like and how long it takes and what the machine looks like and what the people do and all of that. So I know some people were able to take pictures in the room the other day, so I'm hoping that they will let me film and record it so that you all can see it and be blessed by it. I wanted to share with you a couple of things. One, a story that I told a friend of mine last night, and she said, "You've got to share that story." And I think one of the things when you're going through something like this, or when you are with people who are trying to help you and who have a program or a protocol, that you you have to know that it's a lot of moving parts, and things are bound to change, or things are bound to be to not work as smoothly as you would like for them to, or the way you would like for them to. So I've talked a little bit about how I sometimes bristle at some of the things that I'm told, but I know that that's more about me and than about them, or about the hospital, or about MD Anderson. But I wanted to share with you my very first day of radiation. And I think I may have touched on this, about how when I showed up, I was expecting to do like a dry run, which was, I was not expecting to do treatment. They made it sound like I would just go through, I would do the assimilation where they form the little form of the pillow, which I'm hopefully going to show you tomorrow what it looks like. And it's hard as a rock now, but they make you lay on it, and that's what holds your arm really still and your body really still while they do the radiation. But I went expecting just to do the assimilation and not treatment. But when I got there, they said, "Well, we're going to do a dry run, but we're also going to treat you today." And normally I can be kind of flexible, and normally I can kind of go with the flow and whatever. But I think through this process, because of all the unknowns and because of the unknown of what I was getting myself into, I mean, I walked into the room where they first drew on my chest, and they first, lined up all the markers, and they took pictures, and they, created my form and whatnot. The guy just kind of said, "Okay, well, uh, you're here now, go ahead and put this gown on, da da da." And I said, "Well, I'd really like to know what you're going to be doing. Can you walk me through the process before I just start disrobing?" And because he was like, "Okay, take your clothes off and put from the waist up, and put this gown on, and then get on this table." And so I was like, "Okay, well, that's great, but can you kind of tell me what you're going to do step by step?" And so that, he was like, "Oh, okay, yes, of course." And so that was really helpful, and it just helped me know what to expect and what was coming up. Well, then when they said, "Well, we're you know we're gonna go ahead and treat you today," it was something that I was not expecting. And I guess, the little, head, the little fear head, or whatever you want to call it, kind of pops its head up every once in a while, and unexpectedly. Well, so I go back into the treatment room, and they're putting me on the table, and I just begin to cry. Here again, My crying was not out of being hurt. It was not out of being sad. It was not out of, um, I wasn't, they weren't hurting me. It wasn't any of that. It was more of a release of, okay, here we go. And I think some of that, I know I cried the first 2 or 3 times I received chemo. And I think it's more of the realization of it and kind of like, okay, there's no turning back. Here we go. We're starting this. This was starting a new phase. This was starting a new deal. And, so I just wasn't prepared for it. And so my natural response now seems to be that my release, instead of getting mad or anything else, I just start crying. And it just, it's a cleansing thing more than anything else. And they kept saying, well, Ms. Collins, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to do this today. We can wait until tomorrow. And I kept going, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine. And they were very, very great about it. And they were not pushing me to do it at all. And they were very nice. And they went very slowly, and they kept asking me if I was okay. Of course, I'm going, yes, and my tears are running down my face. And they're going, are you sure? And I was like, yes, don't worry. This is just how I deal with things. And so learning to be a little bit more flexible in this whole process. Like the other day I showed up and all the computers were down. So what normally takes a little bit less than an hour took over 2 hours. I wasn't in any big hurry. It wasn't that, I mean, they kept apologizing, but I was like, it's okay. I'll just sit here. But what it did do was it introduced me to some of the other women that you don't sometimes normally have an opportunity to sit and really visit with. And so we were able to share. I ended up finding out one of the women lives probably 20 minutes from where I do. So we told each other that we were going to connect when we got home for sure. So I gave her one of my cards. So those kinds of things are starting to happen, which I was really hoping would. And God's given me an opportunity to do that, and that's been really great. So hopefully tomorrow, as part of my double feature, I'm doubling up tomorrow, or I'm posting again, and hopefully it'll be something that will interest you. But a friend of mine gave me this really great book. It's called In a Word. It's by George DeJong, DeJong, In a Word. And it's Lessons from the Languages of the Wilderness, a study from the Fig Tree Ministries. And it's actually a Bible study, and it can be done in a group or it can be done individually. And the first chapter is called Wilderness. And, to be honest with you, I started thinking about that word wilderness today while I was reading this Bible study, and I was like, I think at first I probably did feel like I was in the wilderness, because it is something that you have to face by yourself, and it is something that you do by yourself. But at the same time, I have never felt alone, and I've never felt, I've experienced so much support and so much love. I got a card today here in Houston. So this sweet person, Karen, thank you, sent me this lovely card, and which means she had to find out my address somehow. I don't know if I gave it to her, I posted it, I can't remember, but that was just such a blessing. And so I've never, as far as those surrounding me and the love of God surrounding me, I really have never felt like I've been in the wilderness. You do go through moments when you feel like you're in the desert or you're in the wilderness. But then a card will come, or someone will send you a Bible study, or someone will call you or text you or Facebook you, and so you get showered with God's love, like I got showered the other day in a rainstorm. It's just it's just an amazing thing. So I think everybody thinks, it's really a matter of attitude. And I was telling someone last night, everybody's saying, well, gosh, you have a really great attitude. And, to me, it's sort of like, what's the alternative? The alternative is to have a bad attitude. And who wants to be around somebody with a bad attitude? I know I don't. So anyway, this In a Word by George DeYoung, his scripture, I guess the scripture that's at the very front of the book just really spoke loudly to me today, because I feel like it's what I'm doing with sharing about what I'm going through. And my friend last night, Sweet Jane, she said, and even today, she said, it's really about just sort of the rawness and the honesty of what you're going through. And so that really blessed me, that it's helping her understand what I'm going through. So anyway, so this book has a scripture verse in the very beginning, and it's out of Ezekiel chapter 40 verse 4. Ezekiel 40 verse 4. See with your eyes and hear with your ears, and set your heart upon everything I am going to show you, for that is why you have been brought here. Now go tell Israel. Well, I feel like this whole time I've been seeing with my eyes and hearing with my ears, and I'm still working on setting my heart upon everything. I think that's a work in progress. I'm a sinner just like everybody else, and I need all the help I can get. And so setting my heart upon the things of God is work. I mean, it's an action thing. And hearing and seeing and setting my heart upon everything that He wants to show me. So I go now every day expecting God. I go every day expecting the Lord to show me something, or to help me hear something that He's wanting me to hear that day. And then once I see it and once I hear it, once I hear from Him, then I can set my heart upon those things that He's wanting to show me. And then He tells me in this verse that's why He brought me here. And so He's brought me here for such a time as this, maybe to relay this message to somebody who needs to hear it. And then when He says, now go tell Israel, I don't know why I feel compelled to tell people what I'm going through. Maybe I just like talking to myself. I don't know. I don't think so. But I love the reaction that I'm getting, the support. People are responding. They're saying, I even had one of the technicians say, can I have one of your cards? Because I want to see, I'd love to hear what a patient's perspective is. And so that just blessed me. So anyway, tomorrow I'm really excited. I'm hopeful that they will let me film everything that I have to go through in one day. And so I want to share more about the day in and the day out, that you drive over there every day, you park, you get your ticket, you walk in, you check in, you go to the back, you get undressed, you sit in the waiting room, and they call your name. And luckily, they give you a stamp for free parking. And that's why they, it's a really good thing. When you have other things you have to do, you kind of end up having to, you get the first hour for free. So that's good. If it goes longer than that, then, the self-parking is not bad. I think it's only like $5, but anyway. Well, you guys are a blessing, and I'm off to Nashville tomorrow. I'm so excited. So I don't know when this next post will go up. It may not be till I get to Nashville, but hopefully I'll get it up and I'll be able to share with you what my day is like at MD Anderson walking through radiation. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.